Good evening, everyone. Can you all hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good
Good
evening, ma'am.
evening.
Good
Good
evening.
evening. I'm really sorry for the delay. There was a technical glitch, so I was not able to start the meeting.
Yeah, okay, ma'am.
Let's wait for another 2 minutes and then we'll start.
Okay.
Could you confirm till then if you can see my screen?
Yes, we can see
Yes,
your
ma'am.
screen, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, ma'am, we can see your screen.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good
Good
evening.
Good
evening,
evening,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Good
Good,
evening, ma'am.
good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Good evening,
Good
ma'am.
evening, ma'am.
Good
Good
evening.
evening, ma'am. Good evening.
Good evening. If it's all right, can I request maybe some of you to turn on your cameras?
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. Good evening. Okay, hi everyone. I'm Meenakshi. I will be facilitating today's webinar regarding CICTL and CIDTL. Um, Throughout this thing, this is going to be a 1 hour session where I'll try to clear all the possible doubts that you might have. And in case you even have questions thereafter, you can ask me after we are done with the presentation, or you can simultaneously be putting the questions in the chat. So I'll take up the questions from the chat. And throughout this session, I would just request you all to stay on mute so that the facilitation is smoother and we can finish and complete it on time. So let's begin. I represent our educators and minute, my presentation stopped. So we believe in updating, uplifting, upkeeping, upgrading, upskilling educators, and that's why we are up educators. We have been in a long partnership with Cambridge International Education, then Google for Education, STEM. We are STEM accredited. We also are going to soon start with autumn qualifications. We have a tie-up with Intel, NASCOM, and ICT. And all these while keeping in mind that the educators of today need to be upskilled in a way that they can cater to the Gen Z and the Gen Alpha that's coming in and the kind of students and their learning environments that are being altered. So we are India's leading institute to offer instructor-led training courses to educators. I think you would have seen our ads on Instagram and other social media sites. The main agenda or the main ideology behind all our programs is the 21st century pedagogy, the incorporation and integration of AI tools, and bringing together instruction-based learning and innovative teaching practices to ensure that the teachers we are upskilling are not only becoming reflective practitioners, but they're also confident in executing and leading their lessons in a classroom that requires dynamic behavior and adaptation. So the goal of any program, including CICTL or CIDTL, is to enhance the learning experience of the teacher as well as create a very conducive environment for the learners and overall improve the learning outcomes. So we have trained more than 1 lakh of educators so far, and we have trained educators from 20,000 plus schools and colleges. These are some of the names of the schools and colleges where our trainers have gone and then had to conduct training. Can I please request you to be on mute? I'm sorry, the presentation crashed again. 1 minute, please. Yeah. So these are some of the schools from 25 different countries where our educators has been catering to, and some of the leading names you can see right here in the on board. Now, you can also find us on social media handles. We are available and active on X, which was earlier Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. And just to keep up with the webinars that are coming up or the kind of courses, how there is a revamp in the number of courses, or if you're interested in any Olympiads that are being conducted or organized by us, I think you could follow us on Instagram because we generally post there about all our activities that Up Educators is conducting. Now, we have a 4.8 rating on Google reviews, and that's been given by 4,000 plus educators who have who had enrolled themselves with us and have successfully passed the courses, including the candidates from CICTL and CIDTL. We are also known to organize Olympiads that are international Olympiads. But very recently, uh, been we have been getting a lot of attention from the media. So whether it's Z News in the Sun Times or Business Standards, the international level Olympiads and the kind of ranking that educators get, that just uplifts their profile. And when it goes into the resume, it's the weightage of the resume suddenly increases. So we have been covered by the following newspapers. Very recently, we have also moved into International AI for Innovative Teaching Olympiad. Earlier, we were already conducting Primary Teachers Olympiad, then subject-specific Olympiads, and then Digital Teachers Olympiad. And the kind of entries, the number of entries that we received was quite overwhelming, and it was really interesting to see and notice that so many educators were looking forward to revamp their practice and understand how their pedagogy could be improved. Now, as far as our initiatives are concerned, we are in partnership with Google for Education, like I mentioned, and we have launched the nationwide AI training program to upskill over 10,000 plus educators across India. In actuality, Up Educators first started with the Innovative Teaching Practices program, everything related to AI and tech. That's how we started, and then gradually we made way into the teaching and the pedagogy, the structural aspect of teaching and learning. We have also partnered with Google for Education to train 20,000 plus faculty and students across India, building AI ready campuses, and all of that aligns with NEP 2020. We are also making an effort to build India's first offline AI platform. It's called Up Educate AI, designed for teachers, students, and parents. And if you'll be enrolling with the course, with any of the courses, you'll be getting access to this. You'll get a chance to explore this platform. And we are in association with NASCOM Future Skills, and we offer advanced AI course for educators, which is accredited by the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. We have also collaborated with Google to train 20,000 plus teachers across India on information literacy, because we believe that in today's world, it's very important to not only hone critical and thinking skills, but also to identify, verify information, because we are living in the world where every bit of information is just a click away. So it's always better to know what is fake and what is authentic. Now, that's all about our educators. Now, before we dive into the structure of Cambridge International Certificate or Diploma Program, I would just like to begin by telling you who this program is really for. So we are talking about experienced teachers, teachers who come with dash number of experience years, and the teachers who come from various teaching backgrounds. So it could be CBSE, ICSE, state board, it could be IGCSE board, IB board, whichever board you have taught. It doesn't really matter, because just because it says Cambridge International Teaching Certificate in Teaching and Learning or Diploma in Teaching and Learning, it doesn't necessarily require you to be teaching in IGCSE board or IB board. This course or this certification is designed for any individual who is in the field of education. Even you are starting fresh, even if you are you have not started really and you're aspiring to become a teacher, even if you've had a very little experience of, let's say, 6 months in a classroom, you are still eligible to be enrolled in this program. It's just that you need to have access to a classroom and you need to have a set number of students upon which you can try to experiment your practices throughout the course and make a portfolio that can be submitted by the end of the course. I want you to just look at this. India is now the second largest host of international schools as parents seek to future-proof kids' future. And if you're joining in from your different cities, I think your city might also be having one or two international schools, to say the least. So India is also becoming one of those hubs where international schools are being set up in order to align with the requirement of the world and also to provide a qualification that the students can use to move abroad as well. Now, when we talk about the international schools cropping up in the Indian landscape, we are also talking about how 140 plus schools are opening every year. Now, when we already are aware of how India is developing and in how India is allowing these international curriculum, these schools to employ international curriculum, and our students are encouraged to adopt, opt for this curriculum. It's important for us to look at how these schools obviously require educators to teach this international curriculum, and that's where we are. We can see the numbers here, like 10,000 Cambridge schools are operating in more than 160 countries, which is a clear indication of the fact that the teaching roles are opening up very quickly. So as for as far as the teachers it's concerned, we are having a lot of job opportunity in the market. The only problem or the only challenge I think that all of us are facing is that we are not really sure what these schools are looking for. So when we apply to these schools, there is a certain criteria based on which they gauge your aptitude and your teaching skills, and at the same time, that determines whether you are eligible to be further incorporated in that ecosystem, and if you are eligible to move further, get promoted in that ecosystem. Now, the best thing about the international schools is that they offer you 20 to 100% higher salaries depending upon the location. And it's not only limited to the salary. There are large number of perks that are available and that are offered when you're teaching in an international school. So when we're talking about an international school setup, we are talking about a very structured schedule and reasonable working hours, because it's not like everything is dumped. It's more like they have certain requirements as per their curriculum. And as per that curriculum, the teachers are allotted work. We also have smaller sizes, and these smaller numbers help the teachers to form that kind of rapport with the students, and the teaching becomes more personalized. We are also talking about the assistance or the professional support that you not only get from the support hub, that's Cambridge Support Hub, but you also get teaching assistants, coordinators, and planners. So you'll have people that are going to be part of this community, and all of them will be coming together to help you understand how this curriculum works. And also, this kind of networking or connection is going to help you understand so much more about how international education works. Further, there are regular breaks, wellness policies, and PD supports, the professional development support that is offered by the Cambridge Assessment Organization. I think the biggest perk for all of us here is that once you are done with either the certification or the diploma, you get a massive opportunity to move abroad, because countries like UAE, Singapore, Malaysia, UK, Australia, all of them are looking for candidates who have either level 5 diploma that's equivalent to FHEQ. This is the standard for international qualification of a trainer or an educator. And CIDTL just fits on that map. It's the level 5 qualification. And furthermore, the some of the requirements clearly states that the educators have to be Cambridge trained, because we are talking about the UK education system, and we are talking about how to focus on our pedagogies and bring about a change in our reflecting methods. Uh, Once you're done with the certification, your job profile is going to be internationally recognizable. Recruiters are going to be looking out for you, and you will have a good number of positions open for you. When I say positions, I'm not only talking about teaching as a career. You can opt for leadership roles if you pursue CIDTL, and it becomes easier for you to move in this ladder of success. Now, there's another opportunity that it's important for us to talk about. It's not only limited to schools, but when you have been accredited by Cambridge itself, you get this opportunity of becoming online tutor. And there are multiple number of students of IGCSE who require tutoring, and the pay scale is high because it's obviously in dollars. And the number of hours you have to spend to earn more is quite minimal. So it's just that the experience is going to speak volumes, and you can deliver the lessons from the comfort of your house. Now, the 3 pointers that make CICTL or CIDTL stand out are: it is cost effective. You will have strong subject expertise, because when you are pursuing this course, you will be aligning all your methods, strategies, pedagogies, everything according to your own subject. And of course, this involves a lot of speaking skills as well. So you are going to have exceptional language skills, not only in terms of speaking, but also in terms of writing. When we be exploring the modules that are there, we will be covering the exceptional language skills. I think then it's going to become clearer. Now, generally, before even we could have, yeah, or you would have opted to attend this webinar, I think if you were thinking to become an internationally qualified teacher, you would have first maybe sought out what were the requirements or prerequisites to become an international educator. And following that, you would have maybe searched for the required certification that would lead you to that role. Now, the one thing that maybe you would have not searched is the importance of the word portfolio attached to this role. Because this is the degrees that we have, the B.Ed, M.A., M.E., M.Tech, all those degrees that we have, these are more like certifications. They are not like a portfolio work. So these international diplomas and certifications are based on portfolio work, which means that your progression from the day you join the course till the day you finish the course, that's shown. So, and that's shown through reflection, that's shown through evidence of learning and evidence of reflection, where you document the kind of experience you had in the class, where you document your learning from every experience, and where you also document how you had brought about a change in your practice and then delivered the lesson. So it's not only your learnings, it's also your reflections or your key takeaways from the experience. And when you maintain a portfolio of that and you submit it to the Cambridge board, that is really a progressive graph that you offer. So you get a chance to build and showcase a strong teaching portfolio. And the moment you do that, there is a sudden rise in your confidence, but also it makes it easier for the recruiters to notice that you have gone through a rigorous training process to be eligible to train the students internationally. Now, why of like all this while I've been saying Cambridge International Qualifications, the whole idea is that it's a globally recognized program, and because we're talking about teaching qualifications, we are talking about how this program strengthens one educator's professional skills. And it also has this program has the capacity to empower the educators to be very dynamic, to reflect on action, to reflect in action, to decide upon their strategies based on research, because there's a lot of reading that they do throughout the teaching process or throughout the training process. There is active learning. You basically start understanding all these concepts of active learning, continuous improvement, differentiation, inclusivity, metacognition. And once you are aware of how these concepts play out in a real life classroom scenario, it becomes easier for you to bring about changes in your own classroom. So you become dynamic, you are prepared to bring about changes as and when needed in your classroom. And that's exactly what Cambridge qualifications prepare you for. Now, you might have heard of this term called PDQs. These are professional development qualifications. Now, in an international school, if you're already working, you would know it. And if you want to apply, it's good for you to know that the school will always encourage all the faculty members to go through certain number of hours of PDQs. And this involves both you opting to do a course on your own or you opting to do a course through the school when the school reimburses the amount. So if you are teaching IGCSE already, there are professional development workshops, marking workshops, introduction workshops. So those are all a part of professional development qualifications. There are a certain number of hours that you spend to understand the curriculum and execute that. Now, when we talk about PDQs, there is a very important thing that can I please request you not to annotate on the screen? So when we are talking about Cambridge qualifications for CBSE, ICSE state board teachers, we are basically talking about specific ways in which these qualifications can benefit the teachers working in different boards. Because the top question that you might be asking or you might be interested in knowing is that if I'm not teaching Cambridge board and if I don't want to teach in Cambridge board, what's the need for this qualification? So if you notice this diagram here, the first thing that you can see is there are five. If you notice, 1 minute, sorry. Yeah. So there are four circles. It talks about responsibility, confidence, innovation, and reflection. And there's a fifth step that I've pushed in the corner. That's called engagement. So I am talking about how this course or these PDQs, they bridge the gap between traditional and global pedagogies. Now, when I'm talking about traditional and digital pedagogies, I'm talking about the responsibility of the teachers, because everything else quite honestly rests on this foundation. As educators, our responsibility goes beyond completing the syllabus. It is about maintaining an ethical approach and keeping the learner at the center of every decision. Because now we don't follow teacher led learning. Now the student is the center of our learning, and we just act as facilitators. So, for example, if you were to imagine two learners in the same classroom, one can understand the concepts easily while the other needs additional support. Now, when you start treating both the students exactly the same way, that might come across as unfair because both of them have different requirements. A responsible teacher will ask, how can I help each learner succeed? And when you start asking that question, it might seem as if additional laborious work, but it is actually when you start reflecting on your own practice and start making tailored content and delivery for every student, making sure that all the learners are taking away something from your session. So it could mean you could provide scaffolding, you could provide differentiated tasks, additional feedback, or simply by just creating a classroom where every learner is feeling comfortable enough to be heard. So that's the responsibility of every teacher that's expected as an international educator. So if you want to become or hone your skills as an educator, that's the first thing that you understand how to become responsible. The second one is confidence. Confidence doesn't mean that you have to know all answers. Of course, you have to because you need to be an expert in your subject. But it's also a feeling to feel equipped to make informed teaching decisions. Like, think about preparing a lesson on persuasive writing in English. Now, rather than simply opening the textbook and following the pages one by one, maybe a confident teacher can ask questions like, what is the learning outcome I'm aiming for? Do I want all my students to be able to write a full-fledged persuasive writing composition by the end of lecture 3? Or do I want them to understand the meaning of persuasive argument, the meaning of how exactly to differentiate between a fact and an opinion? So if I'm going to narrow it down to the syllabus, I think I'll be in a position to make an informed decision regarding whether my class is able to understand what I'm trying to teach them. So maybe checking what kind of prior knowledge they have, maybe checking what activities could possibly help them. That's going to help me make decisions that are going to help my students as well. The third part of this entire cycle is innovation. Education continues to evolve, and our teaching practices should also evolve. Innovation as a word, it's not just using the latest technology. I think all of us agree that technology is just a tool. So real innovation lies in creating a pedagogy that incorporates or integrates technology. So if you can find engaging ways to help the learners think deeply, that's exactly how you can bring in innovation in your teaching. So technology could involve using collaborative whiteboards or interactive quizzes, digital portfolios, or AI tools that can provide immediate feedback. But first of all, we should know whether it's going to be meaningful not only for us and also for the students. Second, we should also understand the relevance of using that tool. So the focus is always on improving teaching, not simply adding gadgets to a lesson. So through this course or through the professional development qualifications, we get an understanding of how exactly we can innovate our teaching practices. The fourth component is reflection. It's basically the fourth standard. So we are talking about how many educators would argue that this is where real professional growth begins. Because, think about it, every time you go into the class, you finish a lesson and you come out, that's an experience in itself. And after teaching, you might remember what happened in the class for a very short duration, maybe for a week. But after that, the whole experience starts to fade away. But the real learning lies in the fact that you're able to recall what happened in that experience and you're able to note down the takeaways, your maybe areas of improvement, maybe the things that worked for you, maybe the things that did not work for you, because all of this data is going to help you analyze your batch. And when you understand your batch, you can fine tune your activities and strategies accordingly. So, a reflective teacher might ask themselves questions like which activity generated more engagement, or who were the learners that struggled, or what would happen if I modify a verbal lesson into a visual lesson? So all these kind of questions, if you start asking yourself, it's more like you'll not be assuming that the learners simply need more practice. You will be investigating the issue and you will be trying out a new strategy, collecting evidence, and then evaluating if your teaching practice has improved. Now, This doesn't really end because we have another standard that I've put here in the corner. That's the fifth standard of engagement. Now, although it has been presented separately, engagement is something that connects all the other four standards. So professional learning can only become richer when we collaborate, share ideas, observe colleagues, discuss challenges. So for example, if you've tried out a new strategy, you might discuss the outcome with your mentor or your department. Someone else might suggest a small modification. And if you're willing to take up that feedback and implement it, you are going to be learning how, whether or not that change in your practice is actually bringing about a change in learner participation. So, in other words, engagement isn't just about engaging students. Engagement here refers to bringing together people in the same field who can possibly look into your practice and suggest ways in which you can bring about a change in the outcome. It's not always about improving your practice because not all of us are bad. It's just that we need a little bit of push. We need to understand where exactly to bring about a change, and we'll be there. So it's more about the guiding light. It's more about that North Star. Somebody could act as a North Star and then help us understand how the learning outcome or the result can be a little different by tweaking or bringing about a change. So if you look at all five standards together, they create a continuous cycle of professional development. And that is the exact reason why Cambridge professional development qualifications are of so much importance. Now, I'll move on to benefits of Cambridge qualifications. So like I've been using the word innovative, these innovative teaching practices make sure that you can fit into every classroom and you are in a position to adapt your teaching methods according to the growing demands of the students. You obviously get a big bracket of opportunities when it comes to your career. The academic standards are quite high because once you have been certified as a Cambridge educator, or if you've cracked the diploma, your role as an educator is suddenly enhanced because now you will be nuanced in your own practice. You will no longer be a novice. You will be an experienced practitioner who would have created a teaching portfolio. It makes you flexible and adaptable because, of course, you learn to recognize the areas that need interventions and you bring about a change in that without really inhibiting your thoughts about it. And that's where reflection comes in. So, ideally, you'll be expanding your perspective and you will be allowing the same classroom issue to be looked at from different angles, and that's where your global teaching perspective comes in. The kind of biases, prejudices that exist in the classroom, they'll all disappear because as a facilitator, you would be ignoring those differences and you'll be catering to all the learners on an equal level. So equity is maintained. Now, when we talk about benefits of Cambridge qualifications for CBSE, ICSE, and state board teachers, we are talking about bridging the gap between traditional and global pedagogies. Can I please request you to mute yourself? Thank you. Somewhere down the line, we are aware of the practices, the visible thinking routines or active learning practices. But through this course, you're also going to be enlightened about how sometimes to bring about a change in the method and activities conducted, or to bring about a change in the pairing or grouping of the students depending upon the classroom dynamic, all of those factors or variables matter when you're looking for a certain set of outcomes. So it's going to strengthen your hold on the kind of practices you are deciding to put in your lesson plans. The learning is obviously going to be activity based and it revolves around experiential learning because since it is Cambridge qualification and it rigorously will follow the routines that are required for honing the skills rather than rote learning, it's going to be much more fun to be in the class and to execute those activities. And of course, as far as career is concerned, the CBSE, ICC, or state board teachers will be offered an opportunity to transition from their current role to the international role, or they could also continue being in the same role in a hybrid model. Now, lastly, I think that's a very obvious one. It also helps you or makes your path easier to move into international schools or move into leadership roles. Now, benefits for Cambridge qualification for the teachers who are already working with the Cambridge board. See, you already know how Cambridge board functions. You know the structure. You know the key ideas or the key visions that the Cambridge board has. But through this course, through both these courses, you're going to get a deeper understanding of what exactly is or who exactly is a Cambridge learner, and what are the expectations from a facilitator, a Cambridge facilitator, to enhance their role as a learner. You will be working on designing assessments. You will be working on an entire set of instructional based design where you'll not only be planning the lesson plans, but you'll also be working on routines with the students to make sure that they are getting into that habit of not only practicing but also experimenting with the skill set that they are getting. I don't know if all of you are aware of this, but in most schools in India, even if they are international schools, they have a set template of lesson plans, and the teachers are rarely given an opportunity to experiment with the design. But when you are doing a course like CICTL or CIDTL, it will give you that opportunity to bring in changes in the lesson plan design and create a whole full-fledged lesson plan on your own. And trust you me when I say that lesson plan creation might sound boring because the word itself is very boring. But if once you understand the purpose, the relevance, and the nuances of creating a lesson plan, the kind of confidence you're going to get in your teaching, that's going to be unmatchable. And it's going to eventually improve your effectiveness in not only executing the lesson, but also getting or collecting data when it comes to understanding your student response. Lastly, it's going to facilitate promotion within the Cambridge schools, because that's the part where I think all of us are, we all wait for it. Now, the teachers who want to work with the IB board, for them, some of the pointers are same, like the deepening of the understanding of methodologies, getting an insight on learner-centered approaches, how a curriculum can be implemented or how assessment can be changed or shifted a little bit. But somewhere, professional reflection and collaboration are some of the ideas that you will be learning or you'll be given more attention to when it comes to CICTL and CIDTL, because throughout every module, you will be given ample of opportunities to connect with your peers, connect with your cohort, discuss strategies, talk about things that are working in your class and not working in your class. In fact, when you'll join in the course, you will be put into a cohort and you'll have access to a very specific platform where each of you can put in your query, and the other people, like other people in your cohort, can respond to those queries. And it's a very conducive environment because everybody starts sharing strategies, and there's so much learning that happens in that environment. You'll also be working on ICT integration, and lastly, and but that's a repeat point, that you will get a boost in your career. Now, with that said, we are now moving on to the curriculum of CICTL and CIDTL. So there are 3 modules in totality. So I'm talking about CIDTL right now, the diploma. The diploma has 3 modules. The certification only involves the first module. So this is how the qualification is structured. If you decide to opt for CICTL, the certification, you'll only be doing module 1. But if you opt for a diploma, you will be doing module 2 and 3 as well. Now, for whichever course you are doing, like even if it's for certification or for diploma, either way, a total of 150 hours have to be spent on specific things. So the first 50 hours on guided learnings, they include the lectures, the activities, or the professional learning that's going to happen when you're talking to the people of your cohort or to your mentor, or if you're going to be listening to a masterclass or a lecture, or if you're going to be doing any activity that has been given in the session. I'm talking about the Up Educator sessions. So these are the 50 guided learning hours that are compulsory to be completed. The next 50 hours, the work-based learning, is the amount of time you're going to spend in your school. That's basically when you'll have to teach the students in your classroom. You're going to be implementing new things that you learned during the sessions, and you're going to be collecting evidence, reflecting on those activities, and maybe after that, you'll be having a discussion with your mentor. The last 50 hours are the individual and collaborative learning, basically the ICL task. So this is more like an independent task that's given to the candidates, and it's also sometimes a collaborative task. You might be asked to read research papers. You might be asked to generate a rough layout of your lesson plan. Maybe certain pointers are given to you, and you have to work on think of strategies that could be used in that particular template. So there are tasks given during the session which have to be worked out individually, and then further they will be like you'll be put together in groups and you'll be asked to discuss amongst the members of the group. So these 50 hours have to be spent to learn from your peers, to understand your own thinking process, and to see if there is a room for improvement of how deeply you can think about the same. This is a compulsory requirement from the Cambridge Assessment Board. Now, when I talk about the certificate, it lasts 4 months, and this is how it's structured. So you are going to get an insight into the core principles, the fundamentals of teaching and learning. You will be encouraged to maintain a reflective journal. So there'll be a lot of emphasis on reflection. So it's going to start by telling you what exactly is reflection, how many models are there, which model could you use possibly. You're also going to get an insight into lesson planning and how exactly you can bring about or improve student engagement in the class. When you're doing diploma, of course, it's longer. It's going to take 8 months, and this will deepen your expertise in the curriculum design and assessment. So even though you might have learned lesson planning earlier in module one, that's your certificate program. For diploma, you're going to get a deeper insight into what exactly happens when you are designing the lesson plan. What are the other factors that bring together your lesson plan elements, making it cohesive and coherent? You're going to be talking about the learning practices that are going to be working in your school. And when you take up that role, when you're looking at the other peers and you'll be working at a whole large level, that's where the leadership roles come in. So diploma makes your path towards leadership way easier. We are talking about mentorship, leadership roles within school, and we are also talking about how you can possibly become a coordinator or guide the teachers under your supervision, telling them or teaching them how their teaching practices can bring about some tangible results by using some strategies that can cater to the learning outcomes. This is a further bifurcation. So when we're talking about module one of CICTL, that's the certification. I wanted to just go through this slide. So here for module one, we are talking about the basics of teaching and learning, how learning happens, what is the role of memory, why is it important for us to teach in a way that students remember, why do so many learning theories exist, how are they even relevant to the classroom scenarios, what are the different strategies that can bring about active learning in the classroom, or why is it so important that the learners should come together. It could be in pairs, it could be in collaborative environment, but why is it important for them to interact? So all of these concepts or the myths will be busted, and you'll be asked to experiment these strategies in your own classroom. When we talk about now, oh yeah, so I'm taking you back to this. Now, module one, it's divided into three separate units. So you have unit one, 2, and 3. And the letters that you see on the left hand side, the A, B, C, D till L, these are called the learning outcomes. Each learning outcome has specific key questions. Key questions are the questions that will help you understand where exactly one learning outcome is headed. So we start with learning outcome A, like I said, fundamentals of teaching and learning, and like four learning outcomes are covered in every unit. Now, for every unit, you have to prepare a portfolio. So I'll just pause for a few seconds. You can just have a look at all these learning outcomes. Now, this is the list of documents that get submitted when you are submitting your certification program documents, the portfolio. So for unit one, you will be required to observe someone else's lesson, your peer's lesson or another teacher's lesson. And you will be asked to write your observation of that lesson. Of course, throughout the sessions, you will be guided along the lines of what goes into the observation, what are the parameters on which you have to observe, and what sort of academic language or writing skills have to be employed to write this portfolio. So this is not just simply another composition or creative writing task. Because it is a formal professional portfolio, you are going to be acquainted, you'll be made acquainted with how academic writing works. So a little bit of what academic writing is, how exactly you are supposed to paraphrase and use in-text citations, how to do referencing and Harvard style that Cambridge expects. All these things will be briefed to you, and you'll be shown a lot of samples, and then only you prepare your portfolio. as a part of your Unit 1 completion, you're going to be submitting an observation visit form where you will write the observation report of the teacher observed, and you're going to be attaching a copy of the lesson plan that you would have observed. For Unit 2, we change roles. Now you will be conducting a lesson plan or lesson in your class. That's the lesson plan you're going to attach here. And you will be asking, or you will be allotted, you'll be choosing a mentor to perform this role. Your mentor is going to be observing your lesson and writing a report on your lesson plan. Unit 3 is similar to Unit 2. The idea here is that Unit 2, you would have gotten a feedback and you would have identified your areas of focus. So once you've identified the areas that need a little bit of work where the outcome can be improved, you're going to bring about the changes. And while teaching the lessons of Unit 3, you're going to be incorporating those changes and then executing your lesson plan. Again, the mentor is going to observe your lesson, give you a feedback. Now, this teaching activity log is an additional document in Unit 3 where you will be listing the list of activities, because in Unit 3 you'll be preparing 3 lessons. So it's more like you'll be preparing a log of what all activities you have chosen, why exactly you chose an activity, and what is the outcome that you're expecting from that activity. So it's a detailed thing, but of course, by the time you reach Unit 3, you'll be super confident in how exactly a lesson plan can be tweaked or changed to get the desired outcome. So that's about CICTL. I'm moving on to the diploma now. Diploma is a little rigorous because it involves action research. It comprises Module 2 and Module 3. There are no sub-units in Module 2 and Module 3. Module 2 is more like teaching and learning in action. It's going to be taking over from Unit 1. So you'll still be acquainted, you'll be told more theories, you'll be looking into different people who coin different learning theories, but you're going to be circling back to your observation, the feedback, and your reflection, and then implementing it again, trying to see if there is an impact of whatever changes you have brought. Module 3 is going to deepen your understanding of professional teaching practices. So if in Module 2, you would have conducted a lesson and you would have gotten a detailed feedback from your mentor, let's say your mentor identified an area, let's say classroom participation was an area. So keeping in mind that classroom participation is something that you want to improve on, you're going to be deciding a practitioner's inquiry. That's basically a question. So let's say for me, I have decided to take up a classroom participation for Module 3. Now, throughout this Module 3, I'll not only be conducting a self-research, but I'll also be talking and discussing with my peers, with the members of my cohort, with my mentor, with my HOD, and I'm going to be talking about how exactly I can bring about a shift in the classroom participation. So I will be doing a lesson here also, but that lesson is going to be a result of discussion that will range from different one person to different people. So it's going to be a lot of discussion based inquiry and reflection on that. And I will possibly become a research informed practitioner by the time I execute my lesson. Now, the Module 2 comprises these learning outcomes and Module 3 comprises these learning outcomes. I'm going to pause for another 30 seconds and I want you to please go through this. Now, as a part of submission, because of course it is diploma and it's going to take more time, you have this list of documents that you submit. I will explain the meaning of certain terms because I think you'll get a clarity of how exactly these documents work when you enroll for the course, or you could possibly talk to the counselor from our educators. So a scheme of learning is like a massive expanded set of lessons that you're going to conduct to cover one topic. So you're going to be preparing, for example, say 10 to 11 short plans if you want to conduct one particular topic for Module 2. You're going to be preparing one lesson out of those 11 lessons. You're going to be choosing 2 lessons that you're going to execute and the lessons that are going to be observed by your mentor. So lesson plan form, first observed lesson is the one that's the first lesson that will be observed. Second observed lesson is the second lesson that the mentor will observe. Accordingly, they'll be giving you 2 observer feedback forms. Following that, there's going to be one learning activity form and formative assessment activity form. I think a better clarity on these two documents will be like I can't really explain it right now. These are more like we'll have to choose one formative assessment and one activity that you think has given you tangible results, and you'll be describing that activity in detail in these documents. When it comes to module 3, because it is a little action research based module, you will be conducting one lesson. You will have your mentor's observer feedback. You will have a lesson activity review form where you're going to see if that activity actually catered to your practitioner's inquiry. Um, because it's research based, you're going to be creating a presentation that's going to tell you the before and the after of the research. You're going to be working on how collaborative learning helped you arrive at certain results. That's where the discussion comes in. And what do you plan to do to bring about changes in your future practice? That's your professional development plan form. That's the PDP form. So these are the set of documents that are required for submission of portfolio for the diploma program. Now, each module and units in CICTL and DIT detail, they are individually a small learning journey. And all of them, like I said, they start with a learning outcome, which basically means what it tells you what exactly you're expected to learn or what should you be able to do. Now, every learning outcome, I already told you this, has been divided into key questions. This is more like the objectives of that learning outcome. And when you have those key questions, it becomes easier for you to focus on certain aspects of your lesson planning and further chunk your learning outcome into smaller, digestible fragments. There are two more documents that are going to be common throughout this learning journey. One is called evidence of learning, and this evidence of learning is going to be it's a document where you write down about your entire journey of creation of the lesson plan, execution of the lesson plan, and the discussion that you had with your mentor. Evidence of reflection is more like a consolidated version of what and how things happened. Why did you make certain decisions? Whether they gave you the desired result. If they did not give you the desired result, what could have been the possible reason? So it's more like a very cohesive but comprehensive reflection record. But all these documents have a very specific word count, and Cambridge is quite strict about the word count. So we make sure that we are practicing enough right from the start to stick to the word count. Now, when it comes to assessment for CICTL and CIDTL, we heavily rely on e-portfolio, and the submission is made to the team of Cambridge International Examiners using My Cambridge. But this is not done by the candidates. All of this is done by UP educators. And you will be assigned one UP educator's mentor who is going to go through your documents and provide you thumbs up that you are good to go, and they're going to also suggest changes in your portfolio. So it's not that you'll be stranded and you'll be left alone. Every document that you prepare that will be gone through by an UP educator's mentor, and he or she is going to tell you to align your document according to the standards of Cambridge PDQ. A reflective journal. This now these days, other than the portfolio, the international schools are also looking out for teachers who are reflective practitioners. So once you are in the habit of reflecting, and through these courses, either of these courses, you are definitely going to get into the habit of reflecting on your journey. This maintaining a reflective journal and making sure that you're following one of the models to reflect so that you can organize your thoughts in a cohesive way. All of this is going to help you not only build a habit, but also make sure that when you are designing a lesson plan, it's based on your reflective actions, and you are actually looking to improve a certain area of your practice through that lesson. So it's going to be specific, and it's also going to be very individualistic. So this is going to be like a personal lesson plan and not a copied or a borrowed one. And that's all about the CICTL and CIDTL details. I will now move on to introducing you to the program leaders and the mentors for the program. So we have Manju ma'am, Miss Manju Borkar. She is the former principal and director of national and international schools in Mumbai, and she's been a robotics trainer and a coding trainer. She's ICF certified, Google certified, Microsoft certified trainer, and she is the program leader for Cambridge International Certificate and Diploma in Teaching and Learning. We have another program leader, Ms. Aarti Kumaran. having over 9 years of experience in education. She is also the program leader for CITTL, and she herself has been, she was awarded distinction in both CICTL and CIDTL. She's a Google certified coach, and she's experienced in mentoring faculty and institutional leaders. Now, the mentors of the program are going to be Miss Mary. Miss Mary, she has over 20 years of experience in education, both national and international, and she's trained more than 4,000 teachers across all the mentioned curriculums. She's been an academic head at Life Educare and program leader and faculty of CIDTL or Cambridge University. She's also the associate faculty for PGDE for the Birmingham City University and Indus Training Institute. That's there in Bangalore. This is me. I have an experience of teaching in IGCSE schools for more than 13 years now, and I have not mentioned it here, but I also have. I mentioned it here. I have also qualified CICTL with a distinction, and I'm currently pursuing my CIDTL, and I will be one of the mentors as well. And that's pretty much it. Now all I have here are the samples and some of the certificates that our previous batch holders have had. So this is how a successful program completion certificate looks like. This is a distinction certificate. It's going to be delivered to your house if once you qualify and once you pass the exam. You are going to be getting the certificate directly from Cambridge, and it's going to be couriered to your house. This is the statement of result. So along with the pass certificate, you also get the statement of result, as in the marks, where they mention these explanatory notes in the end. They tell you what exactly is the area of focus that you can keep if you are deciding to pursue CIDTL. Now, as far as up educators providing the CICTL and CIDTL courses is concerned, so we have had experience of teaching more than 25,000 educators. We do provide mentors who are certified, and we also provide master classes that can help you enhance and hone your strategies or the pedagogical approaches. Now, these are the details. I think this is a slide that you would want to screenshot. So CICTL runs for 4 months. Now, we do try to complete the program in 4 months, but of course, if the candidate is a little not ready to submit the portfolio, we do have options for submission, and that's when the program becomes a little longer. You're going to be having classes twice a week. It's going to be a night batch, and the timings are going to be 8:30 to 10, most probably. The fee details are mentioned here, and along with this course, you're going to be getting additional certificate on either GCE or Advanced AI for educators. You'll be asked to choose. And these are the diploma training program details. It's an 8-month live program. Again, the classes are going to be twice a week, and you are going to be offered either a GCE certificate or an Advanced AI certificate for free. That's an additional course that you can opt for. The fee details are mentioned here. You will be having a Cambridge certified trainer to train you throughout those sessions. And you will be allotted a mentor.
Excuse me.
Yeah, can you hold on? I'm just done. I'm just almost finishing it. Can you just hold on to your question for another 2 minutes?
Okay, ma'am.
Now, if you decide to go on for CIDTL together, like all 3 modules, you want to cover module 1 of CICTL as well as CIDTL, it's going to be a 12-month live instructor-led training program. The class frequency is the same twice a week, and the optional or additional certificates that are being provided are the same. So either GCE or Advanced AI for educators, those can be provided, but the fee details change. So here are the fee details if you want to go for all 3 modules. The submission happens for different modules separately. So module 1 will be separated differently, like at a different timing initially. Module 2 and 3 work together as the IDTL submission. Now, these are some of the snippets of how the classroom looks like, and how the classes are conducted by the trainers. We also provide, like I was saying, we also provide it's a compulsory mentorship that's given to all the candidates. So we have one-on-one mentorship sessions where the candidates not only clarify their doubts, but they also ask the mentors about their progress, whether they are on the right path and what exactly needs to be changed. These are some of the testimonials and the feedbacks that we've got so far. We also have a Hall of Fame where we mention when we put the certificates together, and we basically felicitate all the ones who have passed the course. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for being a patient listener. I will be now, for your attendance and everything, I will be sharing a form link with you in the chat. And I am now open to all the questions as well. Malini ma'am, the timings for the batches can be decided once you're enrolling. It depends on the cohort that you'll be put into. So every cohort has a different set of days. Some classes run on Monday and Fridays, some can run on Tuesdays and Thursdays. It really depends on the cohort. So when you're deciding to opt for it, accordingly you'll be put in the cohort. You can of course talk to the up educator person and you can tell them if you want to be put on certain days. So maybe you can be merged with that cohort. I'm sharing a form link with you in the chat. You're requested to fill this form so that you can not only get your attendance certificate, but also, in case you are interested, or we can reach out to you. Yes, Nandini ma'am, you can ask me the question now.
Ma'am, can you again show me the slides about the fee details?
Yeah, sure. I'll put it up.
I have some doubts in that.
Yeah. Do you just want to see the slides, or
Yes.
do you have a doubt somewhere?
You just show me if there is anything I would like to proceed with.
Just a minute. I'm just putting it. 1 minute, please. Yeah, so these are the details for CICTL.
So this 49,900 includes all others like AI and Cambridge exam
GC.
fee.
Yeah.
It is a full package, am I right? Was
Yeah,
my
but the
understanding right?
GST is going to be added to this.
Oh. May I know the percentage of GST to be added?
I'm not aware of it. I don't know. So you'll have
Okay,
to
okay, ma'am.
connect with the up educators person to give you the
Okay.
financial details.
Okay, no problem, ma'am.
Shall I put for CIDTL as well?
Yes,
Yeah.
CST.
Shrishti, yes, please go on.
Oh,
Hi, ma'am. I
Yeah.
actually would like a suggestion.
Mhm.
I am actually currently working as a shadow teacher in IB School, Genesis, Noida, and I want to upgrade to DP Psychology. I want to teach psychology in DP in IB schools. So, for that, what do you suggest? Should I go for this course or post graduation in IB specification?
See, the purpose of how it's a very personalized question, but I can give you a
Yeah.
very generalized answer.
Okay.
The purpose of CICTL is to work on your teaching pedagogy. So if you are working as a shadow teacher, I think you'll already be having a lot of challenges dealing with students.
Yeah.
So if you want to work on and understand how exactly learning happens in students and you want to work on different pedagogies that can be used to enhance the learning outcome, CICTL is a good chance. It's a good option. If you want to go into leadership roles, which you did not mention, you are just upgrading yourself in that specific subject.
Yeah.
So unless you want to go into leadership roles where you are taking hold on a cohort of teachers and guiding them into improving their practice, then CIDTL would not be a right choice. CIDTL is only for leadership roles and academic coordinator positions. So
Okay.
what you
Thank
shared, yours is more like a very specific area of
you.
expertise that you want to change.
All right. Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome. Priya?
Good evening, ma'am.
Yeah,
I
good
want to
evening.
ask you one question to you. My name is Sharifa Huda.
Sharifa, just hold on. I'll just ask Priya and then I'll come to you.
Yeah, ma'am.
Oh, thank
Good evening, ma'am.
Yes, yeah.
I have done B.Ed, ma'am. I am rightly working in Cambridge Curriculum School. So, which course will be suitable for me? I'm planning for coordinator role also. I'm planning for one or two
Then
years.
CIDTL is a good option. You can choose for a combination of CICTL and CIDTL, that all three modules together. So that's not only going to give a hands-on experience in Cambridge curriculum, but it's also going to facilitate your deeper understanding of how learning works. But if you're wanting to go into the coordinator's roles, the diploma is going to come in handy, not the certification.
Diploma means, ma'am, any concession will I get because I already done BA. Is there any
That you'll
concession?
have to check with the team. I don't have the financial details of the course.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
So you could fill up this form and you can also put the query. So the team is going to get in touch with you. So you can ask about the concession to them.
Okay, ma'am, sure. Thank you.
Yes, Sharifa, please go on.
Ma'am, good evening. I'm also working in a Cambridge school here in Saudi Arabia. I did a PPT training also, but it's compulsory to take this one, or I go on yani, what I have done before.
No, it's up to you whether you want to enhance your experience in education. So it's not a
I have
compulsory
a
course. It's more
no.
like an
I'm
upgradation course.
upgrade. I'm okay, and I'm doing my upgrading like IA,
Yasha,
AI,
one
many
minute.
things I'm
Yasha, could
doing.
you please mute yourself?
I'm working
Yeah.
as a teacher here, and I'm doing the upgrading myself and taking trainings and everything. But they said here the exam is there compulsory for Cambridge. Some not from India. It should be from France, America. They said like this to do it, not from
I'm
India.
not aware.
So
I'm not aware of the requirements that the Saudi Arabia is
wait,
asking you, but this qualification is recognized worldwide. So maybe you could check with your school and see if they are, if you do, let's say if you do diploma, if they are recognizing the diploma and they are not then asking you to do another
no,
exam,
they said to
then
do
this
professional license teaching certification from Canada.
this is a professional license teaching certificate and diploma. So you could just
Yeah.
check once.
No, they said Canada or Scotland, United States. They said like this to me.
I have no idea which certification they are talking about with these specific countries.
They
So
said teaching license. So I don't know. I will confirm with this. Then I will
that's
ask you,
what.
madam, in the chat. Okay.
Because this is also a teaching license and it's very much valid across the globe.
But I don't know from India if they said it's valuable or no. I don't have idea. Okay, I will check with my colleagues and
Yeah,
then if it's there, continue. I will continue, inshallah.
yeah, sure.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Welcome. Yes, Reshu, please go on. Can you hear me?
Yeah, hi, ma'am. Very good
Yeah.
evening. Actually, I just wanted to know that I have worked 1 year in Singapore in a Cambridge school, Kendall Kids
Mm-hmm.
International School, but now I have relocated to Italy. And here I am not able to get a job because they asked for a formal teaching credentials and I don't have any. So I want to know that currently, if
Okay.
I'm not working, how this program is going to help me. Because as you said, that I'll have to go in a classroom to bring the evidence that I have used the teaching methodologies that I learned during this course. So how can I do that without the students,
Uh,
the real
See,
students?
it's possible. There's going to be an alternative provided to you, but you'll have to get in touch with the counselors to for them to guide you as to it because it's a very specific question that you're asking. So why don't you fill the form and then put this query and then maybe talk to them once. So if you're convinced and if it is like catering to your interest, then you could opt for it.
Okay,
But
so I
there will
already
be an
filled
option.
the form. Oh, sorry, I already filled the form and I did not describe this issue there. So,
It's okay. You can fill it again. I'm putting the link here. You can fill it again,
okay,
not a problem.
okay. Thank you. Yeah.
Welcome. Priya, your hand is still up. Are you still asking a question? Dr. Shubhashri, you can ask till then. Can you hear me?
Good evening, ma'am.
Yeah, hi, good evening.
Ma'am, actually, I have a doubt, ma'am. Right now, I'm working as an assistant professor in a medical college. Right, I just want to switch my job into international schools. Am I capable or eligible for that? And do these programs help me in that, ma'am?
Yes, I think that was the first part of my presentation I covered. So even if you're not in a school right now, but you want to switch to a school, this So either the certification or diploma, that depends on your interest, that's going to help you transition, because these are the normal level 5 qualification that's required by any international school. So once you are a certified Cambridge trainer, Cambridge schools are going to possibly recruit you very easily.
Okay, ma'am. Then I should first move into schools and then only I have to do this course, or directly I can choose
You
this
can
program.
enroll, you can choose this program, but then you'll have to talk to the up educators counselor once to just understand what is the timeline of submission going to be, and when
Okay,
exactly are you planning to switch to a school. So all those details can be discussed specifically with the counselor.
okay, okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome. Shilpa, I'll just come to you. I'll just address Solon's question. I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name right. So, see, if your main objective is to strengthen your profile for teaching in international schools abroad, I would recommend CIDTL over CICTL. The main reason is the depth of the qualification, and CICTL is benchmarked at UK FHEQ level 4, while DTL is marked at level 5. So, diploma goes considerably deeper into educational theory. However, there's an important difference that I'd like to highlight. Neither CICTL nor CIDTL is actually equivalent to QTS, because QTS is a professional teaching status that's awarded through specific routes regulated by the UK department. So I think, so in simple terms, like if you are CELTA qualified, CICTL could be a next step, level 5, level 4. But if you're aiming for leadership opportunities, you can go for CIDTL. I think in your situation, CIDTL would be more favorable. Shilpa, go on.
Yeah, good evening, ma'am.
Hi, good evening. Yeah.
So I've been working in a international school in Bangalore. So this is my first experience that I'll be having. So it's been 2 months. But right now I'm struggling, okay, because my previous background was from the CBSE and ICC schools. So it's a little difficult for me. Initially, I had a lot of challenges. Right now, I won't say that I'm settled, but yes, I'm going through the process. Now, how is this course going to help me, like CICTL? Point number one. That is my question. First question. Second question is that suppose in future, if I have this chance to go abroad, then is that course going to help me?
Okay, so I'll address the second question first. Moving abroad requires you to be level 5 qualified. So UK basically measures the like how in India we have B.Ed as the bachelor's, and then we have post graduation. So post graduation is obviously preferred when a teacher is being recruited. Similarly, when you're applying to international schools, they have levels of qualification. And if you're moving abroad, then level 5 qualification is what is preferred, and that is attained through CIDTL. Right now, your issue is to settle in international environment. So CICTL is going to be a good start. You can't directly opt for CIDTL because, like you said, you are new to the international curriculum. So CICTL is going to help you establish the ground, and you'll feel welcomed there, and you'll feel comfortable because you'll be exposed to the kind of strategies and methodologies that work in an international school environment. Furthermore, if you like after some time after your CICTL, if you are interested in continuing this practice and this professional development, you can opt for CIDTL and you can continue the journey. That's going to pave your way to going abroad. So I think the first step has to be CICTL for you to get acquainted with how an international curriculum works.
Okay, one more question, ma'am.
Yeah.
I've been finding it difficult to access with the Cambridge Go and the support hub and all, how to explore things. So is that going to be taught in this class? Well,
No, those courses are different. Those are organized by Cambridge University Press. So if you can subscribe to the newsletter, and you can then you can do those. Those are short, very short term courses, like 1 to 2 hour webinar sort of things that tell you how exactly Cambridge Go, etc., is to be accessed. This is more about the pedagogical approach to Cambridge or international curriculum. So we will not be touching upon the support hub or Cambridge Go.
and ma'am, regarding the assessments,
Yeah.
is this going to be a part of the course, like how the assessments are done for the children who are
Yes.
writing for checkpoint papers and progression papers?
Not specific assessments in the curriculum, but in general, how exactly assessments can become a part of your teaching practice. How exactly you have to decide which assessments are better to get some tangible outputs that way. So formative, summative assessments, all of those are going to be a part of this program, not specific assessments or specific board exams.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Welcome. Do we have any other questions? I'm putting the form link once again in the chat. If you have any specific doubts related to your current circumstances situation, you can please put it in the form and wait for the team to get back to you. Thank you so much for attending. I don't see any hand up. So yeah, wishing you a very good night. And yeah, thank you for being a patient listener. Bye bye. Good day.